You won't see their names on Forbes, but they live in a world where money is just the backdrop, and power is the real game changer. Behind the grand palaces, behind the glamour of the kings, are women whose influence is beyond imagination. Who are they? How rich are the royal wives of Arabia that the world is curious about? Let's explore 8 powerful names, and trust me, the last one will surprise you. Princess Sarah, MBS's wife, and her unrevealed world of luxury. They call her the Barbie Princess of Saudi Arabia, not just because of her ethereal beauty or her exquisite fashion sense, but because she lives in a world that only a few women on the planet can imagine. A world where gold is not jewelry, it's a standard car paint job. Where castles are not fairy tales, they're real. Bought for $300 million. And where the ocean isn't for swimming, it's for mooring a 434-foot superyacht worth $400 million. That's the life of Princess Sarah bint Mashawar bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, wife of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, heir to the throne of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. While most of her assets are held in the name of her husband, Crown Prince MBS, the man behind the $2 trillion NEOM project, it is Sarah who lives among these symbols of power, who owns them with every breath and step. The Crown Prince's companion since 2008, the mother of 5 children, she is not just the other half of one of the most powerful men in the world. She is the mistress of a world where money is not the issue, but the lifestyle. In Louveciennes, near Versailles, France, she owns the Chateau Louis Echev, a $300 million mansion modeled after the 17th century, but with 21st century technology, a spa, private cinema, indoor pool, underground nightclub, and a precious wine cellar. The villa was once considered the most expensive property ever sold in France, and is now her retreat when away from Riyadh. At sea, the 454-foot Serene, purchased for $400 million, is a private paradise in the middle of the ocean, with an indoor saltwater pool, underwater viewing deck, movie theater, and space for multiple helicopters. It's more than just a means of transportation, it's a floating fortress of luxury, once rented by billionaire Bill Gates for $5 million a week. Now it's the private sanctuary of Princess Sarah and the royal family. In Arabia, in the desert, she has a secret palace in the NEOM development, a veritable resort with tropical gardens, a golf course, a private beach, and more than 10 helipads. The interior is designed like a 7-star hotel, high-end conference rooms, a lavish spa, and spaces to host world leaders. The value of the project has never been disclosed, but it's part of the $2 trillion NEOM project, the largest project in modern history. And the supercar collection? Truly a royal princess Barbie, a $1.2 million gold-plated Lamborghini Aventador SVJ, a mind-blowing $3 million Bugatti Chiron, and the ultra-rare Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo that has the world's super-rich lining up, a Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe and a Mercedes G63, all customized with solid gold, make for a lineup that's not only powerful in its engines but also a visual symbol of dominance. And the pinnacle? One of the brand's rarest models, the Lamborghini Veneno Roadster, which costs nearly $6 million, a car that doesn't need to be driven. Just parked in the garage is enough to drive collectors around the world crazy. But perhaps what sets Princess Sarah apart is more than just her extravagance. She is the founder of the Ilmi Center, the most advanced stream education center under construction in Riyadh, with an area of 27,000 square meters and an investment of $478 million. This project not only shows her vision, but also proves that even though she lives in a palace, she still looks to the future generation. Beauty, fashion, supercars, art, technology, education, all converge in a woman who lives quietly, but quietly in a gilded empire. Which part of Princess Sarah's world surprised you the most? Leave a comment, I'd love to hear what you think about this royal lifestyle. Now, if Princess Sarah rules with style, then Princess Amira Al Tawil reigns with impact, beauty, brains, and a billion-dollar empire that speaks volumes. Amira Al Tawil, the empire that makes the world look up. In a world where gold is not just an asset but also a decoration, where power is not just a status but a declaration carved in marble, Princess Amira Al Tawil emerges as a living symbol of beauty, intelligence, and an undeniable presence in the heart of the Saudi royal family. Born on November 6, 1983 in Riyadh, Amira did not grow up in luxury but was raised by her mother and grandparents after her parents divorced. However, fate wrote not just a story but an epic. After graduating with honors in business administration from the University of New Haven, she married Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, known as the Warren Buffett of the Middle East, with an estimated fortune of $18.7 billion. Although the majority of her assets are in her husband's name, make no mistake, Princess Amira doesn't just live in them, she's present in every crystal, every door that opens to the private world of the super rich. From the Kingdom Palace, a $130 million mansion with 317 rooms covered in silk and gold, to the Kingdom Resort spanning over 500,000 square meters as a private eco-paradise where she can ride horses at dawn. In Janadria, the Kingdom Oasis, expected to be the largest palace in the region, is being completed with its own lake and zoo to preserve rare animals, paradise in the desert. In Paris, Amira leisurely walks through the marble lobby of the Four Seasons George, a hotel owned by her husband, where she has hosted world leaders and fashion icons. In New York, the Plaza Hotel was a popular stop, where cocktail parties were held under baccarat chandeliers and red carpets were rolled out between the presidential suites. And that's just the surface. She is the one who breathed life into humanitarian missions, with millions of dollars poured into projects in Afghanistan, Somalia, Yemen, Ghana, such as a $1.3 million grant for Afghan art or $3.3 million to support famine relief in Somalia. But don't mistake her for just charity work. When you step into the garage, you see not just cars, but speed history, a Mercedes SL 600 covered in 300,000 Swarovski crystals worth $48 million, a Lamborghini Veneno Roadster worth more than $9.5 million, a custom-made Pagani Zonda worth more than $10 million, and a Trevita covered in real diamonds, of which only 2 exist in the world. In the air, Amira travels by Royal Jet, a $250 million Boeing 747 with a prayer room, gold-plated dining room, Italian silk salon and African ebony, an Airbus A321 converted into a $120 million office in the clouds, compact but still air sanctuary Hawker Siddeley 125 worth $15 million. And don't forget the blockbuster $485 million Airbus A380 order, which she and her husband plan to turn into a flying palace with spiral staircases and a garage for a Rolls-Royce before selling it for a huge profit. At sea, the $100 million Kingdom 5KR, once owned by Donald Trump, is now a mobile cinema and lavish party complex. And a new version of it, a 173-meter superyacht worth more than $500 million, is under construction, promising to take Amira and her world beyond any known luxury standards. But her story doesn't end in gold. After her marriage to Prince Al-Walid bin Talal ended in divorce in 2013, Princess Amira has continued her life in the way only truly strong women can. In 2018, she remarried Emirati billionaire businessman Khalifa bin Budi al-Muhairi, and just a year later they welcomed their first child, baby Zaid, a living symbol of love, rebirth, and legacy. This is more than just royal life. This is an epic of power written in gold, crystal, and global vision. Princess Amira Al Tawil, a woman living dreams others can only imagine. But in the golden silence behind Dubai's throne stands a woman whose power doesn't need a spotlight, just a signature. Meet Sheikha Hind. Sheikha Hind, the $18 billion power behind Dubai's throne. Imagine stepping into a world where every inch glistens with untold luxury, a realm not ruled by noise but by presence. Sheikha Hind bint Maktoum bin Juma al Maktoum, a name that may not flood your headlines, yet quietly shapes the future of one of the world's wealthiest and most influential monarchies. Born in 1962, Sheikha Hind is not just a royal consort, she is the first wife and official consort of Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and ruler of Dubai. Their wedding in 1979. Think of it as Dubai's Royal Super Bowl. A 20,000-seat stadium, a $100 million celebration, not a wedding, a global spectacle. Though the assets are held collectively within the royal household, Sheikha Hind's estimated share of influence and access is often valued at around $18 billion, placing her quietly among the wealthiest women in the world. But unlike many with similar fortunes, she doesn't lead with headlines, she leads with legacy. She is the matriarch of 12 children, including Crown Prince Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Maktoum, affectionately known across the world as Fahda, Dubai's beloved poetic prince and supercar enthusiast. And Sheikha Hind's bloodline? It flows with power. She's the granddaughter of Sheikh Juma bin Maktoum, brother to Dubai's former ruler. This isn't just royalty by marriage. This is royalty by birthright. But wealth alone doesn't define her. Sheikha Hind is Dubai's humanitarian heartbeat. In the darkest days of the pandemic, 10 million meals campaign in 2020, feeding families across the UAE, an act that earned her the Humanitarian of the Year award at the UAE Arab Women Awards. Under her leadership as chairwoman of the UAE Food Bank, she championed sustainability and social justice, blending philanthropy with environmental consciousness in a bold 2023 to 2027 strategy. Then came 2025. With global eyes watching, Sheikha Hind unveiled the Comprehensive Family Support Program, a national initiative designed to strengthen family values, support women, promote life balance through financial, social, and educational channels. And that's just the beginning. She continues to cultivate culture and faith through her support of the Sheikh Rashid bin Mohammed Quran competition, encouraging memorization of the Holy Quran among Dubai's youth. But even this spiritual mission is paired with architectural ambition. Under her guidance, the Sheikh Rashid bin Mohammed housing project is underway, 672 high-end villas in Wadi Al Amardi, at a staggering cost of $400 million, complete with mosques, public parks, and charitable markets. Let's talk about power moves. The Al Maktoum family's real estate portfolio spans continents. Their base? The legendary Zabil Palace. Abroad, they own Invernate Estate, a 63,000-acre expanse in Scotland, where just in 2025, a 15-bedroom mansion was greenlit for construction. Not a vacation home, a kingdom abroad. And if you thought the riches end there, buckle up, literally. Crown Prince Fahda alone owns over 500 exotic cars, including a Bugatti Veyron, $1.5 M, Ferrari LaFerrari, $1.4 M, and the jaw-dropping Lamborghini Veneno Roadster, $4.5 M. But the family doesn't just roll, they fly. A fleet of Boeing 747 BBJs, each valued around $300 million, ensures that air travel feels more like a floating palace. And at sea, the family travel the Quattroel, an 88-meter yacht worth $180 million, and the futuristic Smeralda, a $100 million maritime marvel. These aren't yachts. They're sovereign territories on water. Now, if you've ever looked at Dubai's skyline and wondered what kind of mind dreams in architecture, look no further than Sheikha Hind's household. From the $1 billion Burj Al Arab to the $12 billion Palm Jumeirah, to the surreal $14 billion World Islands project, these megastructures aren't just tourist spots, they're royal declarations, built on vision and vaults of gold. Behind the spectacle, behind the rulers and their sons, stands Sheikha Hind, the strategic force, the nurturing soul, the unseen engine. In a world dazzled by speed and spectacle, she remains the calm, quiet architect of Dubai's destiny. While some queens build empires quietly, others flee them for freedom. And in the case of Princess Haya, her story turned into a $920 million escape. Princess Haya, the $920 million divorce that shook Dubai's royal family. Princess Haya bint Hussein, born in 1974, in Amman, Jordan, isn't just any royal. She's the daughter of the legendary King Hussein and Queen Aliyah and the half-sister of King Abdullah ET. But tragedy struck early. When Haya was just 3, her mother died in a helicopter crash. That pain would stay with her for life, but it never dimmed her light. Fluent in 5 languages, educated at Oxford, and a certified Olympic equestrian, Haya carved her place in both royal and humanitarian history. After marrying Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, ruler of Dubai and one of the wealthiest men alive, Haya's lifestyle elevated to unthinkable heights. Her net worth ballooned to an estimated $920 million, partly due to an unprecedented divorce settlement, but also her personal fortune. In 2003, she founded Tikiyet Ali, Jordan's first NGO to provide free meals to those in need. By 2017, she had donated nearly $40 million of her own money, expanding support to 30,000 families. And she didn't stop there. She personally funded staff salaries, ensuring that 100% of public donations reached the hungry. As a UN messenger of peace, appointed by Ban Ki-moon, she spearheaded the fight against global hunger, supporting the World Food Program and building emergency food reserves for crisis zones. A fierce advocate for women's rights and social reform in the Arab world, Haya spoke openly against forced marriage, gender violence, and the oppression of children. Yet while the world admired her compassion, her personal life was wrapped in opulence that rivaled monarchs and movie stars. She owns a $120 million mansion in London's Kensington Palace Gardens, nicknamed Billionaire's Row, surrounded by embassies and royalty. Outside the city, she maintains a $100 million countryside estate near Windsor, complete with elite stables and a private riding arena. Her air fleet? Custom Boeing and Gulfstream jets, valued in the hundreds of millions, used solely for her family, staff, and competition horses. And then there's the $500 million Megayat Dubawi, with a helipad, spa, cinema, and enough suites for a floating palace. She reportedly spends $2 million per year maintaining her fleet of elite racehorses, while travel to international competitions racks up another $1 to $3 million annually. Her jewelry collection, valued at $16 million, includes Cartier diamond necklaces, Patek Philippe watches, and rare bespoke pieces. Her wardrobe? Over $1.2 million in couture from Chanel, Dior, and El Isab, including a custom wedding dress once dubbed the gown of queens. Even her personal pocket money budget is eye-watering. An estimated $11 million yearly for gifts, beauty treatments, and private soirees. Add $7.6 million in security and $14 million annually for her children's royal-grade living, and you're looking at one of the most lavish lifestyles on earth. But beneath the diamonds and velvet lay fear and fire. In April 2019, Haya fled Dubai for London with her children. She accused Sheikh Mohammed of threats, surveillance, and intimidation after she uncovered he'd used Pegasus spyware to monitor her phone. The reason? She was allegedly involved with a British bodyguard, an affair that became the catalyst for her dramatic escape. She filed for custody and sought protection from one of the most powerful rulers in the Arab world. The British High Court sided with her. In a landmark ruling, Sheikh Mohammed was ordered to pay over $688 million, the largest divorce settlement in UK history. The court also found he had kidnapped two of his daughters from previous marriages and held them captive, Princess Latifa and Princess Shamsa. These findings shook the very foundations of Dubai's royal court and painted a rare, raw portrait of power unchecked. Today, Princess Haya lives a more private life in England, surrounded by layers of security, but still engaged in humanitarian causes. She is hailed not just for her grace under pressure, but for her extraordinary courage. She didn't just leave a palace, she shattered the silence surrounding a monarchy. She didn't just fight for freedom, she funded it. This is the story of Princess Haya, a woman born into privilege, tested by pain and defined by the choices she made when the stakes were higher than money, power, or even love. From quiet rebellion to royal influence, Princess Haya broke away. But what if I told you there's a woman shaping nations while wrapped in Dior and strategy? Enter Sheikha Moza of Qatar. Sheikha Moza, the powerful woman behind Qatar's $335 billion asset empire. Under the bright sun of the Gulf, amid golden sand dunes and towering skyscrapers, lies a world that makes one wonder, is this real life or a modern-day fairy tale? But no, that is the real life of Sheikha Moza bint Nasser al-Misnad, the woman considered the most powerful, sophisticated, and influential figure in the Arab world. Born on August 8, 1959 in the coastal city of Al Khor, Qatar, Sheikha Moza is the second wife of the former Emir Sheikh Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani and the mother of the current Emir Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Although many of the assets are in the names of her husband and son, Sheikha Moza holds the right to use, direct, and exploit their true value, both financially and symbolically. Sheikha Moza's personal fortune is estimated at $15 billion. But what's truly astonishing is the total wealth of the Al Thani royal family, of which she is a significant part, a staggering $335 billion, a figure that would put even Europe's oldest royal families in awe. As co-founder and chair of the Qatar Foundation since 1995, Sheikha Moza has been an inspiration and architect of major reforms in education and community development. Under her leadership, the Qatar Foundation has invested more than $1.5 billion in universities in the United States and spends an estimated $405 million a year operating Doha-based branches of top universities such as Cornell, Georgetown, Carnegie Mellon, and many others. Beyond education, Sheikha Moza has spearheaded the Education for All campaign, a global effort to send 10 million children to school at an estimated cost of $1 billion, with Qatar providing a third. These initiatives are more than just philanthropy, they are strategic levers for soft influence around the world. From the picturesque Lebanese suburb of Aili, where she owns a property that reflects both Levantine culture and French aristocratic style, to central London, her family owns British national icons such as the Shard Heathrow Airport, where she owns a 20% stake, and Harrods, the world's most luxurious shopping paradise. More than just a retail outlet, it's a palace of fashion with its classic interiors, crystal chandeliers, and handcrafted mosaics, a property that Qatar Holding acquired for around $2.3 billion from Mohammed Al Fayed in 2010. In the United States, the property empire continues to expand with ownership of the Plaza Hotel, a jewel in Central Park, and the St. Regis, New York, a place that has hosted politicians, tycoons, and royalty. The interiors here were designed by Dior and Bentley Home, reflecting the most regal lifestyle. Sheikha Moza's supercar collection isn't just about speed, it's about art in motion. A $6.5 million Ferrari LaFerrari Aperta, a $6 million Bugatti Divo, a Lamborghini Centenario, only 40 of which were produced worldwide, and a Mercedes-AMG 636X6, a true desert beast. Each is a mechanical marvel, every detail carefully selected, as if she were driving history itself in the form of metal and Italian leather. And the yachts? One word, top-notch. Her husband's $400 million Katara is a moving palace with a helipad, saltwater swimming pool, Turkish spa, Alberto Pinto designed interiors, silk and gold leaf. Not to be outdone, her son, the current emir, owns the $500 million Al Lusail, a superyacht with a 4D cinema, infinity pool with integrated music and lighting, a Himalayan salt sauna, and a meditation area under the Gulf sunset. When she leaves the ground, she flies the most expensive private fleet on the planet, a Boeing 7478B doubles as a flying palace, an Airbus A340-500 that doubles as a 5-star hotel in the sky, and an Airbus A320 VIP, all decked out in Italian leather, crystal, and state-of-the-art conference technology. To outsiders, this life may seem like an extravagant luxury, but for Sheikha Moza, it's the art of influence. It's soft power woven from velvet, guided by strategic vision and expressed through every marble, every educational campaign. Although nominally owned by her husband and son, the empire reflects one thing: the will, the taste, and the unmistakable mark of Sheikha Moza bint Nasser, the woman who brings the world closer to Qatar in a way that only she can. Sheikha Moza's world is like something out of a storybook. What part of her influence or lifestyle stood out most to you? Drop a comment and let's talk about it. If Sheikha Moza is elegant and diplomatic, then this next woman is pure mystique, hidden in plain sight yet pulling strings that shape Saudi Arabia's future. Fahda al-Hiflain, the most powerful woman in the Middle East. You may have never heard of her. You may have never seen her. But she is the silent heart of the Saudi royal family, the mother of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, and the woman behind a series of game-changing decisions in the region. She is Princess Fahda bint Fala al-Hiflain, a woman who lives in a world where gold is not the highlight, but the norm. But before we get to the gold-plated mansions, million-dollar yachts, and luxury jets, we have to start with her heart and the fortune that flows into global philanthropy. In 2024, while the world was still debating defense spending, her husband, King Salman, pledged $500 million to eradicate polio globally, especially in Pakistan and Afghanistan. That same year, he donated $40 million to UNRWA, providing emergency aid to Palestinians in Gaza. And during Ramadan, he launched a national charity campaign, personally donating $10.7 million, calling on citizens across the country to help. Behind those donations, there is the delicate hand of Princess Fahda, a person who knows every political and traditional pulse. Thanks to her descent from the powerful Ajman tribe, she is not just a mother, but a bridge between the modern royal family and the ancient tribal heritage. But put the charity figures aside for a moment and step into a world that not everyone is allowed to see. Imagine waking up in the Al Yama Palace, the center of state power in Riyadh. The ceilings are gilded. The interiors are ebony and Swarovski crystals. Royal guards guard every corner of the palace. When she needs a change of scenery, she can retreat to the Al Hamra Palace, a 20th century power center that is being transformed into a luxury hotel by the boutique group. And then there's the transportation. Everything Fahda sets foot in is unusual. The Mercedes-Benz G63, armored and gold-plated, worth more than $2.5 million. The Lamborghini Aventador SV, its gold paint reflecting the sun like diamonds, $1.2 million. The Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe, its interior handcrafted leather, its headliner made of artificial stars, its body covered in solid gold, $4 million. And then there's the Bentley Flying Spur, a little cheaper at around $300,000 before the gold plating. And when she leaves the ground, the skies open up with a multi-billion-dollar fleet of private jets, from the $250 million Boeing 747 to the Airbus A340 and Boeing 777. All have been custom-made by the royal family. Silk curtains in the bedroom, gold leaf in the conference room, elevators inside the plane, a feat unimaginable in civil aviation. Need to fly faster and smaller. There are the Airbus A318 and Gulfstream G450, with interiors that are no different from penthouses in the clouds and at sea. That's another story. The $140 million Prince Abdulaziz, with interiors designed by legendary designer David Hicks, is the place to host parties, hold secret meetings, or simply relax under the moonlight. But do I need more space? There's the Al Salama, one of the world's largest yachts, with 80 cabins, 96 crew, swimming pool, movie theater, library, and helipad. $200 million isn't just a yacht, it's a floating kingdom. Want a private getaway in Marbella, Spain? She uses the 53-meter, $50 million Chef London. You might be thinking, how can someone so quiet have influence? It's her silence that makes her powerful. Every move, every word, every rare appearance, like her 2023 trip to Tangier, Chef Joanne, and Asala, causes a media frenzy. She doesn't need to speak. Her very existence is a political statement. This is more than just a woman. This is a symbol, a hidden pinnacle of power, a queen without a throne, but one who rules in silence. Was it the elegance of Queen Rania, the mystery of Princess Fahda, or the golden world of Princess Sarah? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Like this video, subscribe so you never miss a new story about the world's most fascinating people. Thanks for watching.